You're now listening to the Shipper's Toolbox, presented by Refund Retriever. All right, hey guys, it's Brian from Refund Retriever here, and today we're sitting down with Quentin, the COO of ShipperHQ in Austin. Quentin, how are you doing?
Great, man. How are you? Thanks for coming in.
Hey, doing great. I'm excited to be here. I want to learn more about ShipperHQ and kind of explain what you guys do for my clients and what kind of where ShipperHQ will really incorporate into their, from shopping cart to that shipment going out. So how long has ShipperHQ been around?
So as a company overall, we've been around since 2008. So our CEO, Karen, actually started the company in England. So her husband was a eBay merchant who sold electronics, and then eBay with all the fees, and I think you know a lot about eBay from those times.
I know a lot about eBay.
But they decided that, hey, one day let's do a e-commerce website. And Karen was on a sabbatical from work because she just had one of her kids, and she found something called Magento, and it was an open source beta thing. And she built a website over the weekend, and then so her husband had a Magento site, and the problem was that you couldn't show more than one shipping rate at a time. So if you did like standard shipping, that's all you could show. So she wrote this extension called Matrix Rate and gave it away for free, and it's the #1 most downloaded shipping extension in the Magento history. A lot of different websites use it, but she gave it out for free, and then another customer said, "Hey, can you solve this?" She goes, "Yeah, I can solve that." And the whole time she was doing this, she had a job in London as like a foreign exchange trader for Thomson Reuters. So she was doing this as like a side gig, and then the side gig took over the real gig, and we've been rocking and rolling ever since. ShipperHQ though started around 2015. Towards the end of that is when we actually like let the product out to the world.
That's like Refund Retriever as a company. It was like my side gig, doing stuff on eBay, and then became the full time. So
well, it's funny how it creeps over, and then just before you know it, it's what you do.
Yeah. And then you got to figure out, okay, well, how to make that jump over. That's the scary part for most people don't make it. So, all right, so ShipperHQ, tell us exactly what ShipperHQ. So if I'm one of my many e-commerce clients that has we have a website. Let's say we have a website. We ship on eBay. We have some Amazon. Where would ShipperHQ fit in the overall workings of my company that's an e-commerce shipper?
Cool, good question. So ShipperHQ plugs into the e-commerce platforms themselves. Those are the platforms like BigCommerce, which I know we're both partners on, Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce, ZoeCommerce, and Salesforce Commerce Cloud. So we plug into those, and what we are is we are like a rate calculator in the cart and checkout. We just take into account like the customer's complex requirements. Like we do a lot with perishable goods. We do a lot with like multi-origin. But we really just take whatever those complicated requirements are and we display them nice and clean in the cart and checkout.
For the actual buyer's going to see
exactly.
where. Okay.
Exactly.
Yep.
So like what we do is like, for example, let's say a customer uses UPS. They ship from 3 warehouses, and they're a customer in the gifts industry, so they want to display a calendar. So within ShipperHQ, you could tag, what product or products come from certain warehouses, and you could actually display a calendar using UPS's live rates to determine like, hey, I want this product to arrive on this day. So they could select that when the customer clicks order. We save all the information back into the e-commerce platform. It's the dispatch date, the delivery date, the rate, the location, even the address type if you turn on that feature. And we save everything in there. And from there, it goes into the post-order process, which is, the label, the tracking, and then there's the post-order piece where like you guys are in there making sure they're, everyone's being compliant. But that's kind of where we stop, and that's kind of where we let the post-order process start.
Okay. And so who are the people that pick up that post-order process? That do you guys work with certain companies on that aspect of it, or is it like, do you have a preferred company? Or
the one thing that we've always found is that if you do there are other companies in the space that have kind of an end-to-end solution, and what we found is that it didn't really work. And so the way that we've done it is we put it into the platform, and we really let the customer dictate who they want to use. Because in the post-order world, there's a lot of different like labeling providers, and each one has like that nuance and an extra bit to it.
Yeah.
And so the way that we do it is say, nice, cool, this is in your e-commerce platform. You can send it downstream. We have a order details API you can ping to get the data. So that's kind of our way to do it. We're friends with everyone. We have no sort of like official partnerships with them, just because we haven't really needed to have one, because it just works seamlessly across.
Yeah, there's no preference. I mean,
exactly. And that's the thing, is like, because like if you take into account like ShipWorks, they have a bit more of an inventory piece than some of the other ones do, and that's a huge selling point to the customer. So we don't want to say hey, you have to use these guys. If that inventory thing is not really your bag and you just want to go API driven and go with one of the guys who does that, that's kind of our outlook on it. I think that eventually that could change, but no, we're really happy with kind of working with all of them.
Yeah, awesome. And so do you guys do anything with Amazon at all? I mean, is there anything in there that, I guess, like somebody that's a fulfillment by merchant, I guess everything's baked into Amazon, so you really don't have to worry about that.
So my approach and my take on Amazon is really that we're trying to bring that Amazon experience in the checkout to the e-commerce platform.
Okay.
So we don't have a direct integration into Amazon. They're a bit stingy with some of their APIs, and so you get into like a bit of a problem because we can't get into the feed for like Google Shopping or Amazon for like the shipping rates. And we've had really good conversations with people at Google and Amazon about like how e-commerce shipping works, because I think for them it's kind of like this nebulous thing where it's just like, oh, a package gets there. Yeah. How's it get there? I don't know. It just gets there.
Have you run into any issues or any clients that are starting to use Amazon shipping? I mean, how are you?
So some of them do. So some of them do use FBA, and like on their
not FBA, like legit Amazon shipping.
Oh, the Amazon shipping.
Yeah.
Okay, so we haven't ran across any customers that are really using that yet. We have a couple that have it set up just like really basic table rates, but there's gonna be a time where we're gonna need to hook into like the primary API to get the rates on that. It's just one of those things that we generally tend to do things like that based off client demand, because we don't really want to build something if no one's going to use it.
Yeah.
And so once we have enough demand for it, or Amazon comes.
Do you think it'll be? Do you think Amazon shipping is going to be a real thing?
I think so. So the reason I do is because at the end of the day, Amazon is a fulfillment company. Like, that is where they've shined. They have done really well about delivering the promises on that. With FedEx kind of pulling back and some of the other carriers going like, hey, I'm not going to be your whipping boy or girl anymore. I could see them kind of beefing that up. I mean, they have the money. I mean, they have the money to hire someone with the knowledge. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, we have about 5 customers that have gone from FedEx to Amazon, like straight up Amazon shipping, where they have an Amazon truck pickup, and one of them has an 18-wheeler that fills up and takes straight to Amazon. And
that's pretty impressive.
It's really cheap right now. It is super. They are coming in and just giving like really cheap rates, but they're picking who their clients are going to be right now. And one thing that I've always wondered, like, how can a company kind of put itself out there to be a shipping company fully when you're still using FedEx and UPS? You know what I mean? Like, if you can't even do your own internal shipping, how are you going to bring somebody else's on board?
Well, I think you could probably say the similar thing to what Shopify's doing with they're doing the same thing with their network. They're trying to do that same thing, and there's just, being people in logistics, and we spend a lot of time reading about logistics, we understand like the breadth of that work and the serious undertaking. So it's one of those things that I know for like Shopify's, they're going to still be using 3PLs in the background until they figure it out. I think they've got a lot of learning they want to do, and it's a big leap. I think that Amazon kind of has a better infrastructure set up. So have you ever toured any of their facilities?
No.
So there's one down in San Marcos that we got an invite to tour, but now they're making like a public tour. So it's like one of their autonomous, the robot ones.
Yeah.
They have all that done. It's really just a matter of getting the trucks on the road, and I would say that's the easier part. You just got to find a fleet of people that want to go from A to B, B to C.
Yeah.
I think that's the easier solve there.
Part of me also wonders, okay, well, like, eBay's getting into fulfillment.
I saw that. I haven't read too much about that yet, but I did see that.
I think they announced it at eBay Open we were at, and they were, people are kind of they're getting into Amazon's, core competency, which is fulfillment. And I think there's, that strong possibility of whenever you take your focus off of what you do best and try to get in another thing, then you're going to have eBay's, you're going to have other companies come in that go after what you do best. And I understand why Amazon wants to do it because it's such a big cost, but yeah, number one, I don't see how they're really going to make it a viable offering until they can, basically be completely independent of FedEx and UPS. I think honestly, if FedEx and UPS really wanted to completely nip Amazon's logistics capabilities to snuff it out, they would just pull the contracts from UPS. Would need to do it too, and then you have a giant.
It'd have to be a unified front between the two of them.
Yeah,
I mean that would pull the rug out from under them.
But now UPS is in a great spot because their shipping is probably going to go up a good 15 or 20% because FedEx Ground is no longer using Amazon. Or at the end of this month.
Yeah.
And that's a big chunk of business to turn away. But also it's like, do I turn that business away right now in order to have another 100 years in business? Or do I take that now for, in 10 years I might be number 3?
Yeah, I think they're letting go of like a foothold, but I think that they must have really done a lot of research on wanting to do that because that's a big decision to make. I mean, I think personally that the only thing Amazon does 2 things really well. One, they make search across the marketplace really easy, and I think that's the biggest driver. Because like this morning, for example, I drink iced coffee, cold brew, 24/7, and I have a coaster on my desk that does not absorb moisture. And I was like, this is such a pain. Like I hate to get water on my desk and my keyboard, and it just drives me crazy. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to look up absorbent coasters. Typed it into Google, and all it brought me to was Amazon. And Amazon's ability to search across all these little like micro stores, I guess you could say, is the big driver. And so my thing is like, how come these e-commerce platforms aren't doing that? Yeah. Like I think that there's a whole way to kind of centralize that. Like Shopify, I know can do that because they share databases. Why doesn't BigCommerce do that? Like
why doesn't BigCommerce have an app that is just
search across them? Yeah, because that's really what the big thing is. And then it's the simplicity in the checkout. Like those are the 2 things that drive on Amazon. Yeah. It's not because it's a pretty site or a nice UI, because it sucks.
I think that's what eBay's gonna try to do because everybody already knows eBay. Do you have eBay on your phone already?
Oh yeah, I have huge
eBay on
my
fan.
phone. I'm an biggest eBay advocate you probably ever met. I love eBay.
A lot of people have eBay on their phone. I don't use it a ton because I use Amazon to find like something that's brand new. I can look at 20 of them that are exactly the same. I don't have to look at somebody's different pictures. If they could have a unified way for like images and descriptions and kind of make it an eBay marketplace, search across like you said, and they use their fulfillment.
That's it. I mean that's it. Like that's all one of these platforms needs to do. It just to unify that across. And like if you talk about like to take on Amazon, there's 2 pieces to it. The platform needs to kind of pony up and not kind of roll over and say, hey, we're going to give you this FBA business that goes off our site. And then there's the logistics providers, like us, the technology partners, where we need to go, how can we band together and give our customer the best offering? Yeah. We can do the split styles checkout. We can do all that stuff. You guys can make sure the carriers are compliant and making sure they come across. And then these labeling providers can help automate all this. Yeah. Like us coming together as the shipping solution and going, hey, we need the platform to pony up and start, trying to take this on. And we go, you know what? Here's your offering. Yeah. Here's how you can give that Amazon experience. It's right here. It's tangible. This is how you do it. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. I don't know. I think about that all the time. I always think about like how can we take down Amazon? I mean, our CEO Karen did a talk on it last year, so yeah. I have very strong opinions on Amazon. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me, and I appreciate it. So everybody, check out ShipperHQ. All right. So that was part 1 of our 2-part interview with Quentin from ShipperHQ. So stay tuned for part 2 next week and learn more about the great company ShipperHQ. Thanks a lot. Thank you for joining us on the Shipper's Toolbox. If you have any questions, visit our website, refundretriever.com. Feel free to reach out to us, 800-441-8085 for anything related to your FedEx or UPS invoices. Have a great day.